Welcome to Conversations with Masesi, where my guest and I talk about life, family, love, community, and everything in between. The feeling of mom guilt is universal. It's a hashtag on social media and is an unspoken reality that every mama on earth knows, whether they have named it or not. Joining me today is Lawrence. And oh no, we're not talking about mom guilt. We're talking about parent guilt today. Because I think sometimes we forget that dads also feel guilty when they miss milestones. Lawrence, welcome to Conversations with Masesi.
Thank you. Thank you, my darling. Congratulations on your show.
Thank you. Well, maybe somebody's like, my darling, what's going on? Let our viewers know who you are and where you're from.
My name is Lawrence Masilela from South Africa. And Masesi is my wife, of course.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I was going to be in this seat. I knew about other guests, but here am I.
Yes, because I think it's so important that we understand that dads also feel guilty, especially when it comes to parenting. And for me, it was the most important thing that I talked to a parent that I know, and I didn't want to have somebody and we're going to talk about somebody's family, but I wanted to talk about your family. To kick this off, I'll start off with saying, you and I have 2 children, right? And I'm privileged enough to stay home with them and do so many things with them since we moved into Saskatoon. You as a working parent, how do you maneuver the times when you're feeling, man, I want to be home, or man, I'm missing this? How do you get about to be, I think I'm short of the word to say, to be okay with being away and missing those milestones without feeling guilty?
I guess you just never okay with that. Mm-hmm. But it depends what kind of family you have. So I will say you guys make it very easy for me. Your children make it very easy. And I don't know, like missing milestones and stuff, it's never easy. Yeah. It's never easy. It's always something that's in the back of your mind. You're like, hey, but if you know what you are doing out here, it's like it's a sacrifice.
That's right.
It's a big sacrifice. You can't have it both sides. If I stay home and I'm here with you guys, then there are some things that we are not going to be able to do as a family. In terms of financial obligations and all of that. Mm-hmm. But me being out there means we are able to do more than what we could with only one salary, right?
That's right.
Yeah. A family of 4, we are doing with only one salary, so.
Maybe we need to put this in context for our viewers, because they might be thinking, oh, but you're having it easy because your wife is staying at home. But I do know that it hasn't been easy for you. And to ease that guilt, maybe we need to share what we both have done behind closed doors to say, okay, how do you feel about this? When do you think we can do that? And I want you as a dad to share that so other fathers can say, so this is normal what I feel. If I request my family to do something, it's okay. Because you have requests too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What we did, okay, I'll just say for me and you, what we
Mm-hmm.
did was to sit down and lay our priorities on the table to say, this is what we want to achieve. This is when we want to achieve them. I mean, talking about you had to give up your career, basically, to stay home with the kids. Most people probably don't even know what you have done when you were working. We had to do that. We had to sit down and say, okay, this is what we can achieve at this time.
Yep.
And then up until they finish their grade 12.
With what we have.
With what we have,
because that's the most important thing. Because the other thing that can make you feel guilty as a father, you're thinking, I'm working so hard, but I cannot provide 1, 2, 3. So talk about the sacrifices that you had to do to make sure that we are okay and not be guilty about it.
Oh, no, trust me, I'm not guilty.
It's a feeling, right?
Yeah, it's a feeling. It's a feeling. You try to. One thing I know is money cannot make up for anything that you're missing or the guilt that you feel. I'm not the kind of dad that will shower kids with gifts and money just to make up for that. Whatever time I have, we've tried to maximize it, to make sure that we spend it with our kids. I spend it with you. I mean, there are so many dads that work out there, you know, be it in the mines, in the oil fields, everywhere else. You know, they are not home for like 2 weeks. Some of them are 3 weeks up to a month at a time.
That's right.
And you know, it's a matter of saying, hey, I'm not home. Do I trust my wife enough to do a good job of holding the family together, of you know, raising the kids the way I would like to see them raised?
The way we've agreed, right?
Yes, the way we've agreed. The only problem comes when kids start doing some things that you feel are out of line, and you ask yourself, if would it have been different had I been around? You know,
Okay. Like in what way? Give us an example.
An example of that will be when they are into teenagehood, and they start doing things like coming home late, staying out there late, and talking back. You know, that will always be
and
you
that's
know, questioning a lot of things. Now, as a father, I'm asking myself, had I been around, would it have been different?
That's right. And that's how guilt creeps in. And the other way the guilt can creep in is when somebody comes to you and say, oh, we saw this happening with your family, but you were not there.
Right.
Because there are outside forces as well that we need to deal with. And for you and I, maybe elaborate on how we deal with outside forces and how do we get rid of them.
I think we have dealt with that very good.
Yeah, because ignoring them doesn't work, right?
Family dynamics are different.
That's right.
And I'm not saying another family out there can do what we are doing. It's all, the family dynamics are different, the circumstances are different.
Yeah. But the reasons and goal of raising children is the same.
It's the same,
right?
yeah. But what I will say is, I'm not expecting any father out there to do exactly what we are doing.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that beats communication.
Yes.
There's nothing that beats setting goals and saying this is what we want to achieve at a certain time.
That's right.
And, you know, there might be changes along the way.
Good thing you touched on setting goals at a certain time. So just to bring our viewers into what we did when it came to that, I remember we had a situation where obviously outside forces were involved and things were coming in as if you're missing a lot. And we did not dismiss that, but we looked at it and take it and say, what is it that we are overlooking? Because sometimes I think when somebody criticizes how you do things, it's easy to dismiss it and say, oh, families are different. This is not our family dynamic. No. But if you look at it and think, maybe they're showing you your blind spot and you're not aware. And for us, we found that, you know, there are times when we ignore the calendar based on what milestone the child is reaching or what they're supposed to be getting, and not communicating that well with you so that you can have time to come in and be part of that. And once we corrected that, I think we started thriving from there.
I guess that's the reason why when they were at a certain age,
yes,
we had to make a sacrifice for me to work locally, to
That's
be home.
right, yeah.
Because we were looking at their age, where they were at that time. And I said, no, I mean, they are still young.
Yeah.
For me to be out there, we will do with whatever I'll be bringing home.
Yeah.
And that's when I did the local work. I was home every night.
Yes.
And as soon as they were grown a little bit, just before, well, I guess they were already in high school.
Yeah.
That's when I went out there again. So
what's your advice to other dads? Have milestones, have goals.
Exactly.
And
Have milestones,
communicate.
have goals, communicate, talk to your. I mean, we have technology now. If it takes video call, I can. You know how we are as a family. We can stay on that phone for hours and hours.
Yeah. And they're checking in.
Oh yeah, and they're checking in.
And that eases the guilt, because we're thinking you are guilty because you're working there. Sometimes I feel guilty that, I'm sitting here, I could be doing something because I know the capabilities that I have. But because of our communication, of having goals as a family, and know the path where we're going, has created that understanding. And with that understanding, then that's, from the foundation that we've built as a family, that's how we make it work.
Right.
And our story will help somebody else if they're thinking, we are caught in this muddy place. What do we do? And we just say, step back, keep your why in front of you. Why do you do what you're doing? When do you think this is going, to end? Or maybe you're going to change it. Communicate it. Communicate.
That's the main thing. You have to communicate.
It's been such a pleasure having you in conversations and doing life with you and raising wonderful children. And I'm grateful that you are not guilty for staying away, because we really appreciate you.
Trust me, I'm not guilty.
Thank you. So all the dads out there will know that this is doable.
It's doable.
Yes,
the
it's
results
doable.
speak for themselves.
Yes.
I mean, you look at how your children grow and what they turn out to be. And I think both me and you are very close with our kids.
Yeah.
So
That's right. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Be present where you are at the time you are there. Enjoy and embrace each moment. Enjoy your career during work hours, and embrace and enjoy your children when you are with your children. We are only human. Let's empower each other. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms to keep the conversation going. Thank you for joining us on Conversations. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you and yours. Shalom.